this is all about the virus economic importance. Then we were left with protozoa economic importance, like protist. But protist, almost all protist causes diseases only. We won't have useful applications of protozoa or protist, like the entamoeba histolytica or amoeba or euglena. You remember these words? We discussed all these words under protista microorganism group. Okay, so here almost harmful effects only we'll find. See here, protozoan diseases is nothing but related to protist diseases. Malaria. Which organism causes malaria? Yes, Plasmodium. Good, Ronak. Mosquitoes are the carriers. We discussed this way, didn't we? Mosquitoes acts as carrier. They'll take up this Plasmodium protozoa, and when they bite us, they'll inject this Plasmodium protozoa into our body. That causes malaria. Didn't we? It's okay. Then amoebiasis, we discussed this also. Entamoeba histolytica, kind of diarrhea sickness. Okay. Then sleeping sickness, Kala Ajar, that is the name of a disease. Okay. So all these are protozoan diseases. So many are there. Just for instance, I gave a list of common diseases. That disease almost we discussed. And see, list of viral diseases are there. See, common cold, mumps, measles, hepatitis, dengue fever, chikungunya, or even polio. Polio is also a viral disease. Under vaccination, I gave an example of that. Then fungal diseases. Athlete's foot. Have you heard this is something like a fungal infection which will get on on body parts where proper exposure to air and sunlight didn't happen, like underarms and backside of the neck and all. So that there we'll get candidiasis. Then okay, you have seen candid powder. What was written on the candid powder? Then on the composition, Kavya, have you seen the composition? See, students, because you are getting into 9th standard and you know much about the chemistry and somewhat biology also. So try to see the composition when you take any ointment or when you take any kind of antibacterial medicine, something. Try to see the composition. You will get an idea. You haven't checked, you try to check on the composition side on the candid powder. It will be written a fungus name, modified fungus name. Okay. So athlete's foot is a disease athletes won't get. Okay, athletes won't get athlete's foot. Athlete's foot is something related to sailors. See, people who have long journey on sea, they'll develop this athlete's foot. Their feet will be almost in a burnt condition because of no proper exposure to sunlight, and even because of the salt water. That salt water vapor also eats away the outer part of the skin at the feet and even on the arms. So that's called athlete's foot. It is also caused by a fungus. Okay, so if you want to take this whole thing, because it will be useful in order to identify what are bacterial diseases, what are viral diseases, and remaining microorganism diseases. Okay. Then after this is the last topic in this chapter, food preservation. Now there's not much there to discuss at your level. See, just read the whole slide. What does mean by food preservation? Everybody know that you want to store food in a good condition for a few months. You add some preservatives in order to prevent the growth of microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms. We'll use preservatives. Basically, these are the various methods. Yeah, salt. Yes, Ronak. Kind of salt. And even oils, refrigeration, all these things. I hope you know everything. See, dehydration or drying process. Especially we'll use for grains and fish. This process. Okay. What is the principle? It removes water or reduces water activity, so that there won't be any bacterial growth. So that's one process of food preservation method. Then pasteurization, everybody know This you are reading from 6th standard onwards. Remember the data here, 70 degrees centigrade for 15 to 30 seconds is the required one to kill the bacteria. Okay, that's pasteurization. Definitely we'll use for milk. Then refrigeration. Refrigeration, the temperature varies according to low temperature or freezing methods. So what it will do, it will slow down the reproduction of microorganisms. Understand that point here. Refrigeration slows down the reproduction method of the microorganisms, and the enzymes which will spoil the food, that will be deactivated because of the refrigeration. Okay, like best example, milk and its products like the cheese, the paneer and all. Then fruits, vegetables, obviously even fish and meat also can be preserved for a long time by refrigeration. Then irradiation. Now this we won't use generally over here in India, but basically in Western countries, especially in Canada and all, they'll use this European countries, the irradiation. When you get into a mall, some stalls will be there in US and Canada and other countries where the ionizing radiation will be there under some stalls. So in those, what happens is the high energy electrons or gamma rays are used in order to preserve the fruits and vegetables. So generally they'll preserve the meat, fish and all under radiation. So that's called irradiation method of preservation. We won't follow much over here, but in Delhi some stalls are there and malls are there where irradiation method is used. Why we won't prefer in India is because here we won't have that much low temperatures in India, like compared to US and Canada like countries. So we won't go for irradiation method. Okay, and there are so many drawbacks under irradiation method. Some of the rays may be carcinogenic. So long-term exposure to gamma rays may cause cancer agents into the food material. But they don't have any other, so they are going for irradiation by taking some precautions also. We are not interested about all those things right here. Just irradiation is a method of preserving food. Okay. Then salting. In some textbooks they use the word curing. Curing is nothing but adding salt. For pickles especially, you know that one very well. Then fish and vegetables are also stored by using the salting. It prevents biodegradation. This point you just remember. Then sterilization, of course, you know everything about sterilization. Then canning. Canning is nothing but airtight container we'll use for jams and jellies and all. Okay.